Good morning. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day. And look at all of us here to learn about our brains. So great.
And they all brought theirs.
They what? They brought it. Nice. Well, you don't know for sure, but yes. Well, I'd love to open us in prayer, and then I will get out of the way. So let's pray together. Gracious and loving God, it is so good to be alive today. We are so grateful for the sunshine, for the beautiful, cool breeze, and for these beautiful people who have gathered to continue to learn and grow. Be with Diane as she teaches us on this day. We are so grateful for her gifts. Bless each one of us. In Christ's name, amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, welcome. We have a full house. It's good to see all of you. Well, we have a lot to cover today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk to you about, we're going to do a little bit this morning on advanced mind mapping. We're going to do an exercise where you walk into your future, and then we're going to pull the whole thing together. And when I was going over all that we have done, we have covered a lot of material. So we're going to pull it all together for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So in terms of mind mapping enables us to get an overview of what it is we're talking about, and it enables us to look at all the details at the same time. So we're able to process a whole lot of information. It opens up creative pathways in your brain. It's very quick, it's very efficient way of operating, and it increases retention. Oh, retention. Oh, that I would remember what I was doing. We're going to do an exercise around that you're going to love. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Oh, so I'd like you to open your sheet to the page that says Advanced Mind Mapping. And if you just want to rip that out, just rip it out. And I'd like you to take that sheet of paper and just fold it in half. And down the left-hand side, I'd like you to write the numbers 1 to 20. Just rip it. It's your morning. Tear it. It's okay. You don't have to be gentle.
Get it, man.
There you go. So write down 1 to 20. I couldn't find my phone because you had it.
Yeah.
I want you to do, I'll do this. And I want you to time me for 20 seconds.
Okay.
And then let me know when it's done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 20 words up here. They're all nouns, okay? Pardon me? I'm going to show you 20 words, and I'm going to give you 20 seconds to look at them. So put your pens down. I saw you. Okay, so I'm going to give you 20 seconds to look at the words. At the end of the 20 seconds, I'm going to have you write down what you remember. Okay, so just hold on 1 second. Okay, I know, I've never seen so much anxiety in this class. It's just 20 words, folks. And actually, you don't want to do very well, because I'm going to give you another exercise and you're going to see how much you improved. So if you don't do well, that's really great because you'll be able to show progress, okay? So I'm going to show you 20 words. I'm going to give you 20 seconds. At the end of the 20 seconds, I'm going to ask you to write down the words. They do not have to be in order. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Pardon me? Any questions? Okay. Look at the 20 words. Don't write them down. At the end of the 20 seconds, I'll ask you to write them down. So.
No cell phone pictures?
No cell phone. That's my first technology question on this assignment ever. Okay. Are we ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Maybe. Okay, there's your 20 words. Got 20 seconds. And you don't have to remember them in order. Okay, all right, write them down. I know, 20 seconds is not very long. So remember, if you don't remember, it's really good, because then you'll be able to show progress. So please have blanks on your page. Okay, I'm going to show you the words, and I just want you to notice what you remembered and what you did not remember. So there's your list of words. Did you make up new words that weren't on the list? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at what you remembered. So what did you remember? Did you remember things at the beginning? And how many of you remembered the most words at the beginning? As in all of you. Okay. How many remembered your second group at the end? How many of you, your second memory was at the end? The most. Okay. How many of you remembered the most in the middle? Okay. 0. Okay. Really important point. We remember things in the beginning, and we remember things in the end, and we tend to check out in the middle. So if you're telling someone something that's important and you want them to remember that, you either tell them or write what's important at the beginning, repeat it at the end, knowing they're not listening to you in the middle. I'm serious, okay? So what happens is oftentimes when we go to write something or tell something, we do a lot of blah, blah, blah in the beginning. Then we get to the important point, and we've already lost them, okay? So if it's important, tell them in the beginning, tell them at the end, all right? How many of you got words that were associated? Desk, computer. Wow, okay. And how many of you got Muhammad Ali? Okay, Muhammad Ali is different. Every other word on there was a noun. Every word was a noun. They all had that in common. So they all kind of blended because they were all nouns. But Muhammad Ali was a proper noun, an unusual noun. So we tend to remember things that are unique, are different, stand out in some way. So if you want somebody to remember it, tell them in the beginning, make it unique. Tell them at the end, make the ending unique, and they'll likely remember it. But don't tell them something important in the middle. All right, so that's our general memory process. Oops, so, oh. And I do have it. We had to get up early this morning. We both had doctor's appointments at 7:30. So I'm already done for the day, totally done. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is take your piece of paper. You have your side that you wrote on. Fold that so that you have two blank sides. Fold it the other way. Okay, this time we're going to do the same exercise. I'm going to give you 20 words. Only this time I'm going to read the word to you. And what I don't want you to write the word down. I want you to draw a picture. No Picassos. You only have 1 second per word. So if I say the word tree, I want you to draw, okay, something really, you're going to have 1 second. So I'm going to say a word, draw a 1 second picture, and then we'll go to the next word.
It can't be a letter.
No, it has to be a picture. A picture. There's a reason for that. Okay, are you ready? Number 1 is chair. The man sat in the chair. Number 2 is leaf. The leaf fell from the tree. Number 3 is book. The girl read the book. Number 4 is table. You are sitting at a table. Number 5 is door. You walked through the door this morning. Number 6 is happy. We are happy that you are here today. Number 7 is pencil. You are writing with a pencil. Number 8 is fork. You may have eaten your breakfast with a fork. Number 9 is swan. The swan floated across the lake. Number 10 is book. Book. The girl read the book. I know. I'm glad you know, is what I'm glad about. Number 11 is hammer. He used a hammer to hit the nail. Number 12 is man. The man bought the car. Number 13 is boat. He sailed on the boat.
Excuse me?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Boat.
Boat.
Boat. He sailed on the boat.
Okay.
Number 14 is bat.
What?
Bat. He hit the ball with a bat. Number 15 is computer. I'm using a computer this morning. Number 16 is square. You can't fit a round peg in a square hole. Is that right? That's not how you say that. It's square peg. Thank you. I knew that wasn't right. Okay. Book. Number 17 is book. She read a new book. Number 18 is sad. Sad. The boy was sad that he had to leave. Number 19 is cat. The cat sat on the ledge of the window. And number 20 is money. Money.
Money.
Money. Remember all that money you made? He and I used to be in Columbus, Ohio at the same time. We were both in education. He was way up and I was way low, but we were both. Okay, now what I want you to do is take it and turn it to the other side where it's blank and write the numbers 1 to 20. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And what I want you to do is recall the pictures that you took, that you drew, and write the word that you associate with the picture.
Do they have to be in order?
No, no, thank you. No, they don't have to be in order, thank you. No, so remember all the pictures. You can't look at them. No, it's a test. It's a test. That's the whole point. You can't look. So just recall the pictures that you drew in your mind's eye, and then write the word that you associate with that picture. And if you can't remember, you can just close your eyes and the picture can come up in front of you and you can recall the picture. Okay, 30 more seconds. So let's see how you did. Did I say hammer? Yeah. Wonder where my mind was this morning. It's been a long morning. Okay, so just put in any word you want. Okay, let's see. How many of you remembered more words on this exercise than the first? Lori, look around the room. 100% of the people did better the second time. So let's see, how many got it on the first time? How many people got 7 words? How many people got 7 words the first time we did it? 8, 9, okay, 9's about, okay, 9. How many people this time got at least 11? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18? Wow. What, Lori?
I'm a visual.
Oh, really? Lori, every time you have a group and they try something the first time and then the second time they immediately get incredible improvement, performance. Has that been your experience?
Right now it was.
No. So what do we know about this group? Because this group got immediate improvement of performance.
We're brilliant.
I think so. That's what we know, that this is the most brilliant group. And that's how you all walk around thinking about yourself, isn't it? Like, oh, I have such a great retention, great memory. Oh, yeah, you know, anytime I try something once, I get it. But didn't you just do that this time?
Well, it's easier when you have a book 3 times.
Yeah.
We had it on the first list. It was there in the first list, but I didn't see it. I saw it. I didn't see it.
Aren't you the book lady? Aren't you the book lady?
I love books.
I know, and you didn't see the word book the first
I
time?
saw it one time.
One time. Yes. Shh. Go ahead.
It's also engaging more of your senses, because there was tactile drawing, you know, seeing, drawing, and we also had the experience of the exercise before this, which was just visual.
Yes. Yes, there were some things that may have helped, but not, this was like 100%. You are right. There are some things that were reinforced. So what I want you to notice is when you hear something, then you have to hear it, and then you say it to yourself a second time. When you see something visually, it goes straight in. Oh. Oh. Yes.
But I think you also created a verbal visual because you gave us a sentence. And I thought it was interesting because when you said bat, I was drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, the nonverbal I get on a number of words, because like, oh, well, I hadn't thought about that, yeah. But the main difference was visually, if we are visual creatures, we are visual creatures. And so when we are reading something, we say the word to ourselves first, and then we get the picture of it. So it's a 2-step process, where if you have an auditory verbal, I mean, when you have a visual, it can go straight in. So you want to think about that to help your learning process. So notice how fabulous you did. And this is a group of seniors I'm working with. And what do we know about seniors in their memory?
But you had book twice.
Yes.
3 times.
I did have it twice, you're right. I even had it 3 times, yes. I just want to see if you pick up on it. Because a lot of times people don't pick up the second time, or the third time, or the third time, or whatever. So I want you to notice what worked for you. Most important sentence, one of my most important sentences today. Your brains work perfectly. You just proved it. You don't know how to use them, which is why you're here. Your brains, you walk around all day long. What did she say? I can't remember anything. Oh, what did I do with my glasses? Blah, 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 blah. Your brains work perfectly. You just needed a little instruction on how to operate them, which is what the whole program is about. Immediate improvement in performance. Got it? Yeah. All right, any questions? So, mind mapping is great for meetings, planning things, giving presentations, doing research, writing, planning anything. I plan my meals, I do mind mapping, I do mind mapping for my grocery shopping, I mind map my life, I mind map everything because it operates the way the brain naturally is intended to operate. So it's never fighting the brain. So this is kind of a fancy example, but it's actually very easy. Notice each color. Mind mapping is great, our color is great for mind mapping. Everything here in blue has to do with structure. Everything here in orange has to do with lines. Everything over here in green has to do with use. So it categorizes. Mind mapping categorizes what you're operating, what you're mind mapping. And when you have each branch in a different color, your mind can go, oh yeah, what was on the green? And visually puts it all together. And then it's real different from everything having to do with structure. So it differentiates visually by using color. Notice I have a lot of little cute little things up there. I have arrows. So over here, center and central, those combine. One of the things I love about mind mapping is it's free. You can just, as soon as a thought comes in, you can write it down. It doesn't have to be in any order. And as soon as you draw a line, it triggers an activation in the brain. So you know how like sometimes you're blank? As soon as you draw a line, it will activate your brain. Your brain goes, oh yeah, wake up, okay, got to do something here. So it puts everything together that goes together, and if you use color, it separates and individuates for you. Pictures, we know that we take in pictures really well, better than words, so you tend to remember the pictures. The other thing I like about mind mapping is it enables me to see what I know. So when I do a branch, let's say if I'm doing finances, I may see I have a ton of stuff on this branch and not much over here. So visually, you know, like what is that saying to me? Like I spend all of my money over here, I'm not spending anything here, or I'm not making anything, or, you know, it tells me something visually. So it enables me to quickly see where do I have connections, where do I have disconnections, where do I need to focus. So visually I start to see what I need to be attending to. The other thing is it enables me to see associations I wouldn't see otherwise. And I will tell you that I have never done a mind map, ever. I've done 100,000 of them. I've never done a mind map where I didn't get an aha. Think about that. Like, oh, that's the solution. Oh, that's the connection. Oh, oh, you get insights that you can't get any other way. So mind mapping is very, very powerful technique. Any questions about mind mapping? You got it. Okay, so it integrates your left and your right brain. We already showed that it increases retention. Enables you to make better decisions in less time. Mind map is very fast. You can do them very quickly. And as I said, it enables you to see patterns, enables you to see disconnects, etc. It enables you to organize your ideas more effectively, see relationships, patterns, connections, and get insights that you wouldn't have any other way. So this is a piece of research that I did at OSU, okay? And at the time, what's the word I want? So this is my issue. Anyway, problem-solving techniques were really big. And every company was coming out with a problem-solving technique. So what I wanted to do was look at all these problem-solving techniques and see how they impacted the brain. Because once I could see how they impacted the brain, I would know what they were really doing and how good they were. So we wired all these people up. We gave them different techniques, problem-solving techniques. And I took all of this to the neuroscientists, and I didn't tell them what I was doing. I said, I want you to look at these pictures and tell me what is going on with these people's brains at this moment. So this would tell me when they were using the problem-solving technique, whatever it was, what their brain was doing. This one right here. Anybody know what's going on there?
I think it's the ultimate decision. I think it's the answer.
They said, this is what we think Einstein's brain looked like when he was doing the theory of relativity. Okay. We know that we have two hemispheres in our brain. Who in here has a young grandchild under 7? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they do have one that's brilliant. They really, okay, so tell them, how do you know she's brilliant? What does she do? Give examples.
Oh my goodness, so many. Bob may have to help me, but she's...
We only need 10.
Well, if she picks up an animal like a lizard, her father will tell her what the name of it is, and she'll remember that from that point on.
Never tell them you'll buy them an ice cream cone if you're not, because they're going to remember forever. Go ahead. So great memory.
Yeah, when they spend a lot of time outside, I just asked them, my husband's a veterinarian. They have
No, your son.
my son.
I just got a promotion.
But John is building a new chicken coop, and I said, can Mason help with the chickens? He said, as soon as his chicken coop is done, she's doing everything for the chickens.
Tell them how old she is.
3. She's gathering the eggs, she's feeding them, she'll make sure they have water, she'll know when to open the door to let them go out in free range. She's...
Yeah, and this child does every moment. It's like that. She's incredible. And all of your grandchildren, you could tell similar stories, right? I said till age 7. How many of you have grandchildren from 7 to 13? They're still lovable. Okay. How many have grandchildren over 13? I'm sorry. And how many of you have children or grandchildren over 21? Yeah. Okay. Right. How many of you interface with people over 21? Yes. Oh, you're just telling me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And how many of you go home at the end of the day and say, you know that 45-year-old that I worked with today, she was so brilliant. She just came up with all of these ideas and blah, 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 blah. I'm not seeing a single hand. How many of you are talking about your neighbors? Oh my gosh, they're so clever, comes up with something new, so resourceful, blah. Old people, we never say those words. You have one. Oh, one. One. Wow. Okay. But when we talk about our grandchildren under 7, they're brilliant. That's the word we always use. What happened that everybody in this room at one point was considered brilliant? And do you think of yourselves that way? Do you think of your neighbor that way? Do you think of whatever? No, what happened? We were all brilliant at one time. So what happened is we started out with this whole brain, okay? We used it all. Children can only be whole brain. That's how we're born. And then we get about 7, and this slides down a little bit. And then we get to be 10, and it's gone. And then we're 13, and we're using this. And then we're 21. You see that hangnail right there? We only use a tiny fraction when you get to be our age. It's all there, but we stopped using it. We stopped using it. That is a picture of what they thought Einstein's brain looked like, because he never stopped using his whole brain. He's the one person we believe that about. What mind mapping does, what that person was doing, that person was mind mapping. That's what mind mapping looks like. It takes you back to being whole again, to tapping into your whole brain. That's why you get such ahas. That's why it's so easy. Because you actually start to reintegrate your brain. Every time you do it, you integrate more of going back to being how you were as 3, 5, whatever. Yeah, Bob?
Would you say that it makes it important for all of us to maintain curiosity?
Yes. Because that's what keeps us young. I met a woman one time who, Einstein, she was in preschool at the university. They had a preschool, and he became her best friend. I said, how, what? And she said he was wonderful. When it would, after it would rain, the two of them would go out and they'd watch the wiggly worms come out, and they'd get out on the ground and they would do curiosity. He would do curiosity with a 4-year-old. Yes?
I think that my experience is being with young children and little, especially little children, that enlightens me, and it just, you know.
It brings to life.
Right. And
Yes.
Taking a walk with a 2-year-old, and when they see, it might take you an hour to get around the block.
Yes.
But you will see things that you never saw before.
And they will ask you questions that you could never have come up with. Yes. So mind mapping reintegrates your entire brain and takes you back to being whole. Any questions? Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is real quick. We put, if you read the blurb about the program, there's a blurb about me in the program. So I was asked to kind of explain that. And 2 years ago, this month, I teach a master's degree program in business neuroscience. And I got to the end of the program, and I was going through my notes and putting things back together. I noticed I was making a lot of errors. A lot of errors. They were small, really tiny small. No one would notice them, but I saw them, and I saw the number of them. And I had a really hard time teaching that quarter, really hard. My brain just hurt so bad to grade the papers. It just hurt. And I thought, okay, so I'll be Scarlett O'Hara, and I'll think about that later. So I had a really bad shoulder for 20 years, tried everything, nothing was working. And I was just tired of being in pain. So there's a lady, a very good friend of mine, who worked with NASA in the medical field during the Russian team thing. So she has equipment that nobody else in the world has. So I made an appointment to go see her the Monday after Thanksgiving 2 years ago. After my class was done, I flew up to see her. And I was going to be there for 3 days, and she was going to do 3 treatments. Each treatment was 2 hours. And so on the first one, she's doing this assessment. And she said, I don't really know how to tell you this. But she said, what's really showing up for me here on my instruments is that you have Alzheimer's. And I'm the brain lady. I don't get Alzheimer's. I'm the brain lady. She said, well, you do. And she said, I want you to go home and see a specialist and do it immediately. So I did. And I saw 4 of them. And no one even did a test. They said, you are so far gone. There's no point in taking tests. No point. And the one guy, the last one I talked to, I was sitting up on the table, and I said, they think I had Alzheimer's, and I started to cry, and he goes, you didn't know? He said, you didn't? I was seeing him every week. I said, why didn't you say something? He said, I assumed you knew. So one of the last ones said, I don't really know. But he said, I'll tell you what I do know. He said, you've only got 6 months. And he said, what to make this any better. And he said, if you don't do it in 6 months, he said, you will be completely gone, and you have no choice after that. So I got a book that I highly recommend, and you're all going to buy it. It's called Undo It by Dean Ornish. He's the #1 cardiologist in the world, I think, at least in the United States. And he reverses heart disease. And his program is Go Vegan. We were real thrilled at that. Meditate, exercise, and connect. Those 4 things. Do those every day. That's his program. Now, he started this in the 90s. You can sign up for it at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. It's a 9-week program. It really does work. They now are using this program for everything, diabetes, everything, because 95% of our illnesses are lifestyle related. There's only 3 things that, one is Down syndrome, the other is sickle cell anemia, and there's another one that are not reversible. Everything else is reversible, is lifestyle. So anyway, so we did that. And so we did. And it's real hard to change your diet when your brain doesn't work. But fortunately, I have a really great husband. And I really couldn't do much by this point. So I thought, well, what can I do? What can I do of this? Because to change your lifestyle at this point is hard. And I thought, I can meditate. I can meditate. So I started meditating 2 to 3 hours a day. And that was really all I could do. It was get in a chair and not do anything. And I eventually saw it making a difference. Okay, so by the end of the 6 months, I was better. Cooks were having us over every week. We were playing cards. I lost every time because I couldn't keep track of anything. And we laughed, and we laughed, and we laughed, okay? So we did all those things. So I was getting better. Let me take you back a little. So we did a lot of trying to unravel this. And so this all started in fall of 2 years ago. The previous April, on April 4th, I finished my all of my grades that morning, turned them in, and that afternoon, we went and got our COVID shots. Friday, I came down with a bladder infection, which I haven't had for 40-some years, and it went real fast. So I called my doctor, and I said, I don't want to go in the weekend with this, and he sent me a prescription for an antibody. I took one, and then I took one the next morning. So I was done with everything, and Bruce and I went out to breakfast Saturday morning. It was a glorious day. We talked, we didn't have anything going. It was so glorious. And at 11 o'clock, we said, okay, we're going to each go do our thing, and we'll come back, and we'll get together at 4, and we'll just have a lovely evening. I went out to water my plants, and my head went, and I lost all control of my arms and legs. I had no control. They were everywhere. So I finally got in the house, and we have a hallway, and I was being thrown against the walls. Just thrown. I had just thrown. And Bruce said, what are you doing? What is she doing now? And he came out and he saw me, and he sat me down, and he called the ambulance, and he said, I think you're having a stroke. And I went, oh, yeah, that's what a stroke is. So they came, they put me in the hospital, and I have to tell you, the neurologist who came in about 10 o'clock at night, and cute. She had all of this hair, and she had this cute little A-line dress, and she was perky, and I went, my head, I couldn't handle it. And she looked at me, she took my pulse, she checked my heart, and she got up in bed with me and held me for the longest. I thought, I must really be bad. And every time she came in, she would get in bed with me, and she would hold me, and she would say, we don't know yet, but we'll find it. We don't know. Well, they never knew. So they sent me home, and I slept for an entire month. I would get up 3 times a day and go to the bathroom, and Bruce would have some food, and I'd go back to bed for a month. And I gradually got better, and that's why I couldn't do my class in the fall. So what we finally figured out was that there was a chemical reaction between the medications that was like being electrocuted. That it burnt my entire electrical system. So that took a long time. So I would say September 15th to this year was the first day I felt well again. It took a long time because when you're that sick, it takes a long time. I did do everything in this program. This program is about getting well for me. Now, this lady over here on her thing, one of her selections of goals that you had, she has something that's already a 4. So when it was 5 was the top level. She wants to get it to a 5. We can do that for her using these exercises in a week. She can have that. And it's something that I think will so enrich your life and everybody's life that's connected with this, don't you think? Okay, mine took a little longer because it was more severe. So when you think about your goals that you wrote down, I want you to think about many of them you've had for years, right? So think of the cow paths and how deep they are. Okay, and how long. So you're going to have to redo and make new cow paths. And that is in essence what I had to do to get well. Because I want you to think about the old men. They came in with cow paths that produced results that meant they were in a cane. Okay? When they went to that location, they built new cow paths, all new cow paths. That's why he was able to play touch football. So you can't go home and do the same things and get different results. You've got to build the new cow paths. Does that make sense? Because you have to build a new you. I had to build every new cell in my body. It took me, and when you're at that point, you are so physically and mentally and emotionally compromised, you don't have much resources to pull from. So it's better to build new cow paths now while you have your resources, right? But I do want you to know, they gave me 6 months. I'm still here, all right? So just as a testimony to what's possible.
Well, we did pray for you.
They did. And you have to know, he gave me the Queen of Spades as often as he could. And every time we laughed, it changed my chemistry. It changed my chemistry. And so here were people who were trying every night, not every night, but often to play cards with somebody who couldn't get it. And yet they made it a wonderful time. They made it a wonderful time. So that's critical healing. Yes.
But look how God is using what happened to you to teach others. I mean, because you've experienced something that you can share with others to give them hope.
Thank you.
I think that's something, we always have to take the lemon
Right.
and lemonade. So.
Yeah, we did the lemons last week. We're getting the lemonade today, okay? So I want you to know, one, what's possible, okay? I have come to believe that everything, yes.
Where did you go for the treatment you described?
I went up to in Michigan.
Ann Arbor?
No, it's a little town. It doesn't even exist on the map. She has retired, the woman who did it, she has retired, but she's a very good friend, and she did the...
If you're going to seek treatment now, where would you recommend going?
I don't know, because the person who I would give you just moved from Sarasota.
You're not recommending an institution?
No, I'm not.
Recommending
No, I'm not.
clinic or-
No, I believe that this is a huge piece of it, this book right here. I think that's a huge piece of it.
The 4 things were?
Diet, exercise, meditation, and feeling connected. And feeling connected with others. So to me, that meant feeling connected to God, feeling connected to other people, and feeling connected to self. So since I was so incapacitated, I spent a lot on that because I could do those things sitting in my chair. And so that was really important. Any other questions? Because I want to move on. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right, so Pat, yes. Could I have your body, please? I want to, the next activity. Come on down, Pat. Okay, our next exercise is going to be called Walk into Your Future. So we've done 3 exercises, 2 which were meditations, and 1 was where you rewired your brain on the goal that you want. And what I want to do today is take everything that we've done and integrate it into your body. And I want you to take that, and we're going to take all that rewiring and imagine going into your future with it already installed. Okay? So I'm going to move you right there because I'm going to... Okay, so this is today, this moment where she's standing. Now, I want you to pick a place on the floor in your future where you see that this is going to come to fruition. Okay. So I just am going to want you to walk to that place, walking from now into your future, seeing that manifest whatever it was that you were working on.
That's that mind map I'm working on. Okay.
That mind map is your goal, right? You had a goal.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Originally in week 1
Okay,
that we've
okay.
been working with.
Okay,
Okay.
so you don't need to tell us anything about it.
Okay.
Just whenever you get to that point, stop. But I want from here to there, I want you to literally walk, having that integrated into your body of having that happen.
Getting there.
And knowing what that is going to take. So that may mean reading a book, that may mean having certain beliefs, eating certain vegan food, I don't know, whatever that is. But the walking is the doing of what you need to do imagining it already in existence.
Wow,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to talk to us.
wow.
Take as long as you need. Okay, is that the spot? Okay, great. All right, now I want to go back to where we started. So yeah, now I want you to look in your past,
Okay,
and I want you to pick a spot in your past on your timeline of where you felt that situation actually began. So that could have been, yeah, that could have been when you were 3, that could have been 3 weeks ago, but go back to where it began. And just go wherever, and you can. Is that the spot? Okay. So I want you to take what you know now you can do, and it will take. I want you to take it from that point to that when you think it will come to fruition.
okay, so take it back where I began.
Yes, so when it began, if you knew what you knew now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I'm always saying that to people, well, remember.
So this probably would have been bridged quicker.
Well, it may have, so you may walk it faster.
Yeah. And then you want me to finish?
And that timeline may have changed. Okay, so let me ask you, this second time, how does it feel different? Safer, okay, all right, okay. Okay, so now I want you to imagine knowing what you now know in the future, having made this change, and all that you brought with you, knowing who you are now. I'd like you to look out into your future as you carry this new knowledge with you. Do you see anything, and don't just give me a yes or no, do you see anything opening or changing in your future?
It's wide open.
Thank you. Would you walk into your future carrying what you already now have?
You want me to move?
Yeah, I want you to walk into your future, taking all of those gifts. Wow, notice the difference in her pace. Okay, so come here one more time.
This is mind-blowing, guys.
I had some dates that used to say that about me too. Okay, so this is where it all began. You've walked it twice. You've gotten some insights. Now this last time I want you to go from here all the way past this, when it's settled in, taking all of that into the rest of your future, all that you've learned, all those gifts, all that knowledge, and see all those other things that open up as a result.
Wow.
Take as much time as you need.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, let's give her a big hand. Whoa. Okay, so Pat, can you, because you don't need to tell us anything, but any insights in terms of how feelings changed, or how the experience changed doing it multiple times, or?
Recognizing how far I've come.
If you leave here today with that, I will be thrilled. Think about that. Okay, how far you've come.
Yeah. Being able to define where I want to be.
Okay, excellent. Because you can't get there without a roadmap, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And really hopeful.
Hopeful.
From a perspective that says there is life after getting there.
Yes. For seniors, I have to say that is extraordinarily important, because seniors walk around like this, like there is no hope, right? If you look at the body language of old people, there's no hope. Thank you. Give her a big hand. Okay, I want that for all of you. So what we're going to do is you're going to get a partner. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is, we're going to spread you out, but you're going to go from this moment to where you see this thing happening for you. What that may be tomorrow, that may be 10 years from now, but you all have a sense of when you want this thing to come to fruition with you. So you're just going to walk it. Just want to get a sense of how far is that, what things come up, what are your thoughts. You're just walking your future and getting resolution to this situation. Okay, the second thing you're going to do is go back to the original beginning. So when did this start for you? When did this situation, maybe it was a diagnosis, maybe it was a divorce, maybe it was whatever. When did this start? It could have started when you were 3 and your mother said you were no good and would never be anything. Right? Could be whenever. So go back to when it originally began and walk to when it's resolved. Which is where you walk to here. The third thing is identify, I'm going to say, walk from resolution to new openings. Okay, so she saw this culminating here. Whatever that is, she saw it ending here. So imagine, we'll do it this way. Imagine learning how to read. You started way back here learning ABCs. You put syllables together, you put words together, you were able to put sentences together, you were able to put paragraphs together, you were able to read a whole book. Okay. Then, once you can read a whole book, walk into your future of what's now possible. What's now possible as I take all that learning with me. So the last one is that last piece. So I want you to walk that last piece and then go from the moment it first occurred, getting resolution, figuring out what you need, new skills, new beliefs, new emotions, resolved, now taking those skills into your future and how your future will open up with all that you've learned. Questions? Hello? Is this
supposed to be our original?
Yeah, the one you've been working on. But you can change it if you want. That you can make it, it's for you, all right? So you're going to get with a partner. If you're the one walking, you don't need to say anything. You don't need to share anything if you don't want. It's all, you don't have to have a partner. You can walk it yourself, all right? Then after your partner does it, then you switch and you do it. You got 20 minutes, 10 minutes per person. Any questions about what we're doing, what the purpose of, yeah?
If you do it with a partner, is the partner, you're doing, say, something.
Shh, wait just a second.
Person A is doing the walking.
Yeah.
So the partner, are they supposed to be saying anything or just walking?
No, just like what I did with Pat, I would say to them, let's walk from your present to your future. And then blah, blah, blah.
Just say step.
Yeah. And I would just be watching. You'll know when they're done. You'll know where they're walking through, where they need to take time. So the last one is to walk from where it originally began into beyond. Yes?
When you begin with the present,
Because that's where they know where they are.
you have to have a goal for achievement in mind.
Yes. In the first class, everybody developed 3 goals.
Oh,
I know. And so the third exercise in every class has been an activity to get insight to that goal. And so what this activity is to take all of those insights that people got and now anchor it into the neurology.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you can pick whatever you want. So you weren't here for that first one. Okay, any other questions? See you back here at 11:30. Go walking. You got to stand up to go walking. Did you have a good walk? Build some new cow paths? Yes. Just think when you leave here, you're going to have a whole new language. Okay, so what I would like for you to do is turn in your material to the section that it says mind map all 4 sessions. Or turn it over. So we covered a lot of material. Let me just briefly, because I have 30 seconds here. Okay, we talked about the mice in the different cages. The mice in the 3rd cage, they survived. The mice in the other 2 cages, they didn't survive because the mice in the 3rd cage had built more dendrites. Remember all of this? Yes. And that a thought is 2 dendrites making an electrical connection. You can feel that sometimes. So when we exercise our brains, we make longer dendrites that enable us to make thoughts quicker. We make more thoughts because we have more dendrites, and the myelin sheath enables us to be resilient. We talked about your body doesn't lie. This was Linda. You all did this. Remember that every thought, every food you drink or eat, everything you drink, absolutely, the air you breathe is strengthening or weakening you, and it does every single muscle. This was only a representative of that. We laid down new connections. This was the first guided meditation that we did on day 1. That you got an insight to that. We then did the old men, went on their trip. We did mind mapping. We did the swish technique. That is a very powerful technique where you had your old thought and you brought the new thought in and you swished them and the new thought came into your brain. Just run that all the time. It's wonderful. We talked about brainwave patterns. We talked about every thought changes your neurology, your chemistry, your genetics. We talked that you have a lot of those thoughts, okay? And you may be tired at the end of the day and it has nothing to do with what you did. It may have to do with your thoughts because every thought weakens you or strengthens in you. And some of you want to build new cow paths. So think about like what we did today. You have something you want to accomplish. You know what it is. You now looked at what that's going to take. You're going to lay down those cow paths. Think about how many times you laid down the old cow paths. Thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So if this takes you a week or a month or a year to lay down enough cow paths, that's okay. That's okay. But you got to be intentional because that other cow path is really deep, really deep. Okay. So this is the old men. This is what they went through, their thoughts, their neural networks, their neural peptides, signaling new hormone centers. Whoops. Their epigenetic signals to cell receptors, activating new cell sites, DNA, expression of proteins, expression of life, health of body. That's what it takes every time you make a change. Whatever that change is, that's what your body goes through. All right? So go easy on yourself. You can see why it would take a while. So new thoughts give you new choices. New choices gives you new actions. New actions give you new behaviors. So the men literally became younger mentally and physically. Literally. Then we changed your boxes. We taught you how to draw a mind map. We looked at how that reintegrates your brain. So you're whole, and we took all of that and walked into the future. So take that sheet that says mind map, all 4 sections, and write mind map what you remember, what's been of value to you. Take 5 minutes. Mind maps, you can put a whole lot down real fast. Do I have yours?
All right.
You can just write it on the back. Just put it in place. And if you can't find the sheet, just do. And you have colored pencils. Colored pencils. Pat sharpened every single one of these pencils for you. Make her feel good. They are, yes.
So are you wanting us to do the mind mapping?
Yeah, I want you to mind map what you've learned in these 3.5 days. 3.5 sessions. So what's been important to you? So this is your mind map.
So what stood out to us?
Yes. Yeah, it's your mind map, so I want you to write down, I want you to mind map what's been important for you. So everyone will have a very different mind map. No having fun. That is the best medicine of all.
I don't know, it was like.
2 more minutes.
I'll use that. I didn't know. That's okay. I got it.
Okay, I'd like you to get with the people at your table. Maybe the 4 of you can get together. Get with the people at your table and share your mind maps, and let's see if you were all in the same class. Might be interesting. Some of you have been someplace else, I think. So share your mind maps. Well, I'm sorry you didn't learn anything. Wow. Wow, terrific. We covered a lot, didn't we? We did. You did great. If you would turn to the bibliography. Just a couple of quick comments. The bibliography is, towards the back. I just kind of selected the ones that I thought really related to this class. The first 3 authors here are all saying the same thing. And it just depends on how you like it. So Bruce Lipton was the first man from a university setting that kind of identified all of this, and they all said, well, he was crazy, so he left the university. Now he makes millions of dollars talking about it. Joe Dispenza, I like his stuff, and I put the first book on each person is the one I would suggest if you're not familiar with that person to start with. Dawson Church I don't know if he's an ordained minister or not, but he gives it from that perspective. Sharon Bagley, Train Your Mind, Change Your Brain. She's the one that has been dealt with the Dalai Lama and doing all this scientific research. So she has really, and she's a fabulous writer. She used to be a writer for Newsweek. Norm Doidge, my all-time favorite author. He writes about all of these really unique situations that people have with their brain. And one woman, Bruce, what was that? The woman that had the thing on her tongue?
Oh, Norman Doidge.
Yeah, she lost her balance. They gave her some kind of medicine, and they overdid it, and it eliminated her balance, the part that does her balance. And so the people who have that situation, they all commit suicide because you can't lift your head off the pillow. You get such vertigo. Yeah, it's a really bad head day. So what they did was they put this thing on the tip of her tongue, and it felt like champagne bubbles. And she was able to figure out how to balance her head. And so she could hold her head upright, and it was like for 30 seconds, and the next time it was for 5 minutes. And I mean, she did like 4 or 5 times, and she was fine. I mean, and so it's amazing stories about the brain. He's fabulous. And then there's just everybody on here are people that I love that just give you a different perspective on it. So I included that. And then I have just a few final words. So, since we live in Sarasota, I thought for my final words I really needed to do something with a circus. So as you see this picture here, we have a clown, right? We live in Sarasota, the circus was here, clowns are always in the circus, everybody loves the circus, so I brought you a clown. You're welcome. So if we take that clown and look at him from a different perspective, you see things that you didn't see the first time. In fact, you see that there's actually quite a big tent. I think there's something in there. Then we have a dog with a ball on his nose. We have the clown on the unicycle. We have the flamethrower. We actually have the ballerina on the horse. Over here we have the elephants. If you have a circus, you have to have elephants, right? So notice we had a clown from our traditional perspective. We looked at that from a different perspective. We saw we had the entire circus. When we look at things from a different perspective, sometimes we see a lot more. So when we go back to our original perspective, notice you can see the clown and the entire circus. So you all came in here as the clown, right? On your unicycle, and you saw the world in a certain perspective. My hope is that we turn that on its side and enabled you to see things from a whole different perspective. So when you go back in your life, I hope your lives are much richer for having been here. Because when you look at things from a different perspective and you include your original perspective, shift happens. I wish you lots of shifting. Matt, if you're around, if you could come in the room, I would appreciate it. Pat, could you come up here for a second, please? Could you come up for... Bob and Linda, if you could come up for a minute, please. Bruce, if you could come up here for a minute, please. If you could all come just for... I know. Thank you. We need a wide angle camera. wide angle. So, as I talked on the very first day, this class would not have occurred without all of these people. These are really the people that made it all happen. So I'd like for you to give them a huge thank you.
We need to squeeze closer.
Squeeze. Let's have a big squeeze.
How about the instructor?
Oh, yeah. And there too.
All right.
You need to get in the middle.
You need to be in the middle.
Because that's a little skinny spot there.
All right, I took a ton.
Thank you. And give yourselves a big hand. You have been a real treat for all of us. Thank you.
You have an evaluation, so if you would please give Diane and Church of the Palms some feedback. We are going to be doing more of these in 2024 where we cover a topic but we get a lot deeper. We go into some more specifics related to it. So this feedback is going to be very helpful for us as we do that. So please take a few minutes, just leave it at your spot or throw it on one of the back tables, but your feelings are important to us.
Yes, thank you. And thank you all. You have been such a treat. Thank you. I wish you all the best.